Hi, welcome back to another
Hello.
episode of Smiling While Struggling. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the wonderful, the beautiful, the amazing social anxiety disorder.
Literally. We love social anxiety.
But before we get into it, Sandra, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Today was a weird day. I got called by a random stranger mommy. And that is disgusting. Don't talk to random women like that, please. If any man is watching out there, please don't do it. It's gross. It's cringe. Don't do it.
I just want to say I'm passionate about this topic because it hits close to home for me. It hits close to home. I have social anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with it when I was in grade 10. So I think I was
grade 10. Oh.
15, 16?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But yeah, me and social anxiety have a long, beautiful history together. Wonderful relationship. Love it. That's why I'm excited to talk about this today. What is social anxiety disorder? What is it? You may be wondering on the edge of your seat. According to WebMD, social anxiety disorder is a condition that causes you to fear and avoid social situations. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, a person with social anxiety disorder feels symptoms of anxiety or fear in situations where they may be scrutinized, evaluated, or judged by others. I can relate so much. Social anxiety disorder, it's also known as social phobia. And apparently it affects women as well as young adults more than men. So a high rate of social anxiety disorder in these demographics. Some signs and symptoms. I broke it down into physical and psychological.
Okay, period.
So, racing heart, sweating, trembling, shortness of breath, blushing, muscle tension, upset stomach, nausea, dizziness, lightheadedness, dry mouth, and tightness in chest. These symptoms are things that I can relate to personally. I don't know if you've ever experienced these in social situations as well. But you don't have to have social anxiety to feel anxious in social situations. It's just something that people deal with. So I went to an elementary school from JK to grade 4, and then another elementary school from grade 5 to grade 8. Switching over to that school, I feel like that was the catalyst for my social anxiety disorder. Before, when I was younger, I did not care about being the center of attention. You know, I thrived being in the spotlight, always joking around, talking, laughing. And I remember one time, actually, one of my elementary school teachers, she called my mom because I was dancing in class and I was distracting the other students. So she got upset and she called my mom. When I switched, everything changed and I just became more aware of myself and things I didn't like about myself, and I started fearing that other people would notice these things that I'm noticing for the first time. It was very hard and I started becoming more closed off. I didn't want to be the center of attention anymore. I avoided that. I wanted to be invisible because it was just too much. What would they think of my existence, you know? Would they think I'm weird? Would they think I'm stupid? Would they think I'm annoying? Just so many things. So I would start thinking the worst of what people think of me. And it would just really affect me because I would not be able to be calm in social settings. And it was really hard. So those symptoms are ones that I know way too well. Just being around people, I would experience these feelings, these physical symptoms pretty much all the time, constantly. The psychological symptoms as well were very exhausting. Trouble with eye contact was something that I had as well. I think you mentioned before that you don't have an issue with eye contact.
I'll stare
if anything,
you down.
Yeah. For me, it was just what if I'm staring too much at the person? They'll probably think I'm weird. Or if I'm not looking at them, maybe they think I'm rude or uninterested in the conversation. They might think negatively about me. and they might be judging me. So it was a whole process of trying to figure out the right balance between making eye contact and breaking eye contact, and trying to figure out like what normal is, so I'm not judged like, oh, this girl's weird, she's like staring at me too much, or oh, this girl's weird, like her eyes are darting around and she's not looking at me, she's not paying attention, she's rude. Just so many things. Always expecting the worst outcome in social situations was something I dealt with. And I'm sure, like, I know you do that sometimes where you're kind of like, oh, you know.
Putting me on the spot.
Like, I don't know, sometimes you go into a situation expecting the worst.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And especially social situations, I would expect the worst if I'm leaving the room to grab something. Maybe on my way out, I'll trip and I'll fall. Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, because I'm not the one who falls. She's always falling, so I'm sure you would love to see it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you're so used to seeing the ground in your face.
Wow.
That you want to see something.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed today.
Someone woke up on the ground today, probably.
That's true.
But
very accurate.
Anyways, so yeah, it would just be like a lot of like expecting the worst. Like, if I fall, what will people say? What will they think? Will they think I'm clumsy, stupid? Always expecting the worst of what people will think about me, and always expecting the worst of like how I'll perform in a social situation. So it was just a lot. Panic attacks. Have you ever experienced?
Oh my goodness, yes. And they come out of nowhere.
That is something that I dealt with a lot. Like, I remember I was best friends with the secretary at my first elementary school. Shout out. I can't remember her name. Miss Philotica. Literally, I would have panic attacks all the time in class. And I would get sent down to the principal's office. And there was a little bed that they had in the office for, like, when students weren't feeling well and stuff.
I love that bed.
Yeah, and I would always come down to the office, and she would talk to me and just be so comforting and reassuring and sweet.
Aww.
Because, like, you know, when you have a panic attack, you feel like you're dying.
Yep.
You know?
It's the end of the world.
It feels like it. Like, it's very scary. And so she was there for me, and I remember, like, panic attacks were a huge part of, like, I mean, me growing up, but especially with the social anxiety, it worsened.
And I must say, she's really, really comforting when you have panic attacks. I remember I had a panic attack on the phone with her, and she was trying to calm me down, but I wasn't there, so, you know, she's so sweet.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I tried. Low self-esteem is another psychological symptom that I feel like most people have dealt with in their lifetime, but especially people with social anxiety disorder. The self-esteem is low. It is very low. And thank you. And it's something that's really hard. You know, you see these negative things in yourself. You think these negative things about yourself, and then you kind of project it, and you expect other people to think that about you. And what if they see this about me? And what if they think this? And it's just, low self-esteem is a big part of it, unfortunately. And I mean, I feel like most people can relate. Another one is avoidance of social situations or fear of social situations.
Big
so
one.
Isolating yourself, just avoiding the things that will give you anxiety. I remember in elementary school and high school, I would have a lot of sick days because I just could not be in the classroom. There were too many people, teachers calling out on you, out of nowhere, even though my hand wasn't raised. Thank you for asking me what the answer is. But it's just, like, it was so overwhelming. I would avoid going to school. And I remember I got a letter one time saying, like, legally students have to attend X amount of days. It's important for children, their education, whatever. Because I never went to school because I was just too anxious all the time. And once I turned 18, I started leaving school, like, whenever I could, because I just couldn't be in the classroom. It was too much. That is something as well. And anxiety, anticipating things happening. So, like, if I knew I had a presentation that was coming up, the anxiety would be unbearable. I would not be able to sleep. I know my appetite would decrease a lot. Like, I would not be able to eat for a few days before the presentation. I would not be able to enjoy anything. Like, I'd be out with my mom, let's say, and we're supposed to be having a good time. But then I think, oh my goodness, I have a presentation coming up soon. And then I get really anxious, and it's just like it ruined my mood. I would not be able to eat, would not be able to sleep, not be able to focus on things, not be able to enjoy things. Just the anxiety was debilitating. And that was like a psychological symptom, just having the anxiety, the anticipation anxiety. It was awful. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, definitely. If it's a big event where I know everyone's gonna be there, or if it's a presentation. I used to be really, really good at presentations. I'm still good at them, but I used to really not feel anxious, like at a really minimum level, or not feel anxious at all. But now I do, because thank you, anxiety.
Yeah, and it's normal to feel anxious. It's just when it starts to affect your relationships and your ability to function, then that's when it's cause for concern.
Absolutely.
Speaking of cause, what are some causes of social anxiety? What are some potential risk factors? Genetics play a role into social anxiety developing, brain structure as well, family history, trauma, past traumatic events like bullying could definitely play a role into it. There are a lot of reasons why someone may be more susceptible to having this disorder, and those are just a few. It's very important to reach out for help. For me, my personal relationships were definitely affected by social anxiety. My ability to let myself be vulnerable and be myself. I remember I would not say my views, my opinions on anything. Nothing. Like if I went out to a restaurant, let's say with Sandra, I wouldn't share my opinion on the food. I wouldn't share my opinion on the place, on anything. I would just kind of be there existing out of fear of being judged or criticized or being offensive. It was very hard to maintain friendships because I was not able to be myself. I would always worry about what others' responses would be to my actions, which stopped me from being able to do what I want, say what I want, say how I feel.
This girl would just like nod and smile. So for the longest time, I just thought we agreed on everything. And it turns out we do not.
We definitely don't. We don't. But it's because I was just like, I wasn't able to express myself because I didn't feel comfortable, not anything to do with anyone around me. It was just like I didn't feel confident in myself, and I was just so afraid of what people's responses would be to my personality. So maintaining friends was so hard. It took me a while to find a good friend group. It was so hard and so lonely because this mental disorder, it really takes a toll on your relationships. It really does. The way you see yourself, the way you see others, the way you see how others may see you. Like, it's a lot. So it definitely affects relationships. I remember my support group for social anxiety. A lot of people mentioned having issues with substance abuse because it would help ease their anxiety in social situations. So what used to be social drinking turned into like an alcohol dependence, let's say, because it would take that anxiety away from being in front of people. It would make it easier to talk to people, whatever it was. And I know that's something that I struggled with in the past, where having something to rely on, something that was helpful to me, was an issue in the end. And so that is something that you have to be very aware of with any mental health struggle, with any struggle at all. Do not rely on substances.
Yes,
because
please don't.
They are a problem. They are not a solution.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
Let her cook.
So long term, it has been shown that people who have social anxiety will develop things like high blood pressure and heart problems. Your body, after always being in distress, that fight or flight response, it's going to affect you physically. Trigger warning, I'm going to talk about suicidal thoughts. So
if you are not comfortable hearing this, we're gonna put a timestamp where you can skip.
So for me, the social anxiety was so debilitating to the point where I could not go out to the grocery store. I couldn't go out with friends if I had any at the time. It was just so hard and it was so lonely. This mental illness makes you feel so alone, and it really impacted the way I saw myself and my life. At that time, I didn't think there was anything that would help me. So I started to experience suicidal thoughts because I was like, I can't live the rest of my life like this. I don't want to. And I was just so lonely all the time. Of course, as humans, like, we need that social interaction. And when every moment interacting with someone is just like a horrible experience, it's not like there's no comfort from talking to people anymore. It's just so isolating and so hard. So that was something I dealt with, and I know if like I didn't seek treatment, I'm sure it would have gotten worse. So leaving social anxiety disorder untreated, and any mental health struggle, leaving it untreated is very
dangerous.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I know suicidal thoughts and ideation, that was something I experienced, and it would just be a shame if someone starts to experience it because they didn't seek out help. It's very important to seek out help when you can. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a professional right away. You can reach out to a friend, a family member, a loved one, someone, anyone you trust who's reliable, who can help you out, and then eventually, hopefully, you can reach out to a professional. But I know for me, I'm so glad I reached out because it was starting to become too much to deal with on my own.
For sure.
And I knew I needed the help. Speaking of help, there is help out there.
Yes, definitely.
What is a form of help, Sandra, that we have out there?
You can call a hotline or an emergency service. You can get therapy.
Yes.
What else?
So for therapy specifically, we have CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, is like the gold standard for social anxiety disorder treatment and therapy. So yeah, that is something that is an option. Also, exposure therapy. For exposure therapy, it's very important to start small. Like for me, I know when I used to go out, like let's say with Sandra, we would go out to a restaurant.
Yes.
She would be my support person, and I would ask her, like, hey, I really want a cup of water. Can you ask the waitress for a cup of water? And she would kind of be like the messenger between me and the waitress or waiter. It was something that I struggled with. I couldn't order for myself. And then I decided, like, you know what, before the waiter comes, I am going to decide in my head what I want to order. I'm going to rehearse it, and then I'll say it out loud, and I'll say it myself to them. I'll be the one to say it. And then moving from that, I realized, like, rehearsing it, sometimes you don't have time to rehearse, as well as it's not fun always having to rehearse everything and be anxious and plan and have a script. So eventually I moved from that exposure to a different exposure, which was just when the waiter came, I would say my order. I would just think on the spot. I would look at the menu and I'd be like, you know what? That looks good. I want to have that. Aww. I wouldn't be planning for like a few minutes what I was going to say and how I was going to say it and what I would say if they responded with this back to me. Small things are definitely possible to do on your own. Working on little things to expose yourself to situations that you are normally not comfortable with. For me, another thing was going to the grocery store. It was something I could not do alone. Now I love going to the grocery store on my own. You could find her at Walmart all the time. I'm always there. Like, I'm practically an employee at this point. So I could not do that before. But something I did was I would walk around the Walmart for a bit of time, maybe like 5 minutes. I'd be walking in the area of the Walmart. And then I'd go home. And I'd do that for a few days. And then I would graduate to going into the Walmart. And maybe there was an item I needed. So I'd pick up the one item. I'd let myself stay for a few minutes and then I'd leave. I don't have to go there and do groceries and be there for like an hour or however long. I don't have to jump to that. I don't have to jump in the deep end. I can slowly work my way up the ladder.
Absolutely.
And take little steps to get myself to the point where now I can go to the grocery store, and I love going.
She lives there, guys.
I love
You cannot get her out of there.
Yeah. And before, I could never even dream of doing that. I always needed someone with me. And even when someone was there, I was so anxious. No. But now I'm like literally like dancing around the Walmart and like annoying everyone. And I don't care. You know,
I love that.
I'm comfortable. I'm happy there.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm happy in Walmart, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying right now. But yeah, so little things like that. And of course, there is medication. But that is something that you would have to speak to a professional about. I'm just putting it out there, like medication that is a possible treatment for people with social anxiety disorder. Speak to a psychiatrist and see if that is something that you would potentially be interested in and if that's something that would potentially be beneficial to you. So, yeah, those are forms of treatment. Before we wrap up, I just want to tell a little story. Oh. Sandra was the first person I opened up to about my social anxiety disorder.
What an honor.
Yes, and it was because she invited me out one day to go to the movies. And I called her lying, saying that, oh, my mom, like, she's not awake right now. Like, I don't know if she'll let me go tomorrow to the movies, like the night before, because I was working up the courage. At that point, I didn't have any friends. Aww, and I really wanted a friend, and I really liked Sandra, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the movie. You're crazy. I'm gonna go to the movies, and it'll be fun. I'm gonna make a friend. It's gonna push me out of my comfort zone. But then the night before, I chickened out, and I was like, you know what, I cannot do this. I'm not, baby. Like, I was crying. I was very anxious. It was very hard. So I called Sandra and I made up this lie about how my mom was sleeping and
her pants were in fact on fire.
Yeah, they were. And I said my mom, she didn't give me permission to go out because she's asleep right now, so I couldn't ask her, so I don't know if I can make it. Wow. And Sandra caught on to the fact with my bad lying that I just did not want to go. And I guess she thought it was because I didn't like her, whatever it was.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I can't remember either, but, you know, it does seem like I would be upset, too, if I'm like, oh, hey, are you ready to go out? And someone's like, no, I can't because da-da-da, da-da-da.
I just hated people changing plans. Right.
Yeah, and also it probably seemed like I didn't want to go out with her, which must not be a nice feeling. So I understand why she was upset. And then I was like, you know what? I feel like I should just tell her about my social anxiety. So I opened up to her. And ever since then, she has been so supportive, always, like, telling me, like, oh, my little wins, like, hey, Faith, you know, you did a great job.
She should know.
Yeah, like, always being so supportive and encouraging, and just, I'm so grateful for her.
Same with her. Literally couldn't do a lot of things without her.
Thank you. Yeah. So, it's, like, I'm very grateful for her, and that's just, like, a little story. Also, when we first became friends, Sandra is a very loud talker. She's very loud. Yeah. So for my social anxiety disorder in grade 9 and 10, it was so bad because we would be at the back of the classroom and I was sitting in the back because I would not be able to sit in the front. It was just too much. I felt like there were so many eyes on me. No. But Sandra made sure that even in the back of the class, the eyes were on us because she would be talking and she'd be so loud that everyone would turn around and look at us. And I would be like shaking, oh my gosh, what are they thinking? Like, they're looking at us. What if they see me and they think I look weird? Or what if I drop something when they're turning around and looking? So it was bad.
I'm scary. So sorry. I was not aware of it. She brought it up to me. I didn't know it was that loud.
She had no self-awareness about the volume, but it's okay because now I don't either. So
though I think you're pretty good.
Well, I'm better than you for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was good for me though, because in a way it was like exposure, like having all the people turn and
You're
look
welcome.
all the time.
For
Thank
free.
you.
You're welcome.
Free therapy.
Literally.
Yeah, it was helpful in a way because I was exposed to a situation that gave me a lot of anxiety, but now when we're out and we're yelling and like,
she yells louder now.
Yeah.
She's like, look at this weirdo, or look at, what do you say?
I'll be like, what the flip? Get away from me, you
Yeah.
weirdo. Like, I'll
She'll
yell
do
that
that.
out loud to embarrass Sandra. And it's so much fun.
It doesn't
it's
work.
so cute. I'll be
Doesn't
like,
work.
who are you? Like, get away from me. And so, you know, it's something that I would have never dreamed of, but now I can insult my best friend
I love that.
out loud, like
Me too.
loudly, and I can have an audience, and I'm okay with it. I enjoy it.
Wow.
I relish in the fact that people are watching.
Wow. My suffering brings her joy.
It does.
Just keep that in mind, guys.
So that's like some fun little background with Sandra and
Yes.
I. And again, I'm grateful for her now.
Same with
like,
her.
There's so many things that I thought I couldn't do before that I'm able to do now, like going to the movies. I always ask her to go out to the movies.
She's a movie glazer.
Literally, before I would not be able to, like, that night when I called her, I was crying because I was like, just thinking of going to the movies is something I can't do. I didn't think I would ever be able to do it, but now I have friends. Now I can go to the movies. I can go to the grocery store. Like, I'm able to do all these things that I didn't think were possible when I was in that dark place and struggling with my social anxiety disorder. So I just want to let people know out there,
Yes.
struggling with any mental health issue. But since we're talking about social anxiety, I want to make a note that with social anxiety disorder, there is help, there is hope. You can live a normal life. You can live a happy, healthy life. And
we're examples of that.
Yeah. You can overcome this, and you can learn how to manage it and kick it in the butt and
literally
deal with it.
Literally. And it's okay to have bad days still, and it's okay to struggle still, you know. Your progress is not gone.
Yeah.
You're still there. You worked hard on it. She worked very hard on it. That's why she's here, and that's why she's doing so good.
And I still have a long way to go. Like, there are so many things. Like, don't get me wrong, my social anxiety disorder is very much still there. It is definitely not gone. There are a lot of times when I'll cry because of a social situation, or my hands will get sweaty, I'll be shaking, I'll be nervous, I'll have, like, nights where it'll be hard to fall asleep. And that's okay. I'm still working on it. But I'm so much better now than I used to be because I reached out for help and because I educated myself on the mental illness. And it's possible for you too. Like, if I can do it, you can do it too.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just want to end off on that good note. There is hope.
There is hope.
So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Or listening.
Or listening. You can find us on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. We appreciate the support, guys. Thank you so much.
You.
And let us know how the new camera angle is.
And the background.
What
do
let
we
us
think?
know any
Down below.
Criticism,
Yes.
comments, anything, please. Constructive criticism only.
Roast us in the comments.
No. But please let us know what you think and if there are any topics you want us to cover in the future.
Yeah, what is something you struggle with? How's your day going? You know, fill us in, bestie. We love you.
Thank you for watching.